If you have the letter M and a perfect crescent moon on your palms, stop scrolling. You didn't land here by accident. You were summoned. This channel isn't just a platform. It's a spiritual compass, meant to realign you with a truth older than memory and deeper than DNA. You've been searching for something your entire life. An answer, a sign, a reason why you've always felt different, disconnected, or misread. Why the world seemed too loud, too wrong language, and your solitude, a sanctuary. The reason is not random. You were coded differently. Those with the letter M etched across the center of their palms. Those with a crescent moon quietly appearing when light hits just right. You carry a frequency that does not resonate with the noise of this world. You operate on a different wavelength, a spiritual bandwidth only a few understand. This channel was created not for the masses, because your time has come. Do you ever wonder why life kept shutting doors just as you reached out to open them? Why people you trusted walked away? Why dreams collapsed just before they bloomed? What if I told you it wasn't misfortune? It was divine redirection. You weren't being punished. You were being preserved. The cosmos doesn't waste energy. It hides the rarest stars until the night is darkest. You've been shielded. You've been separated, not rejected. It belongs to an ancient line of sentinels whose presence disrupts false systems and whose silence dismantles illusions. The crescent and the M are not mere lines. They are activation codes, proof that you carry the blueprint of the awakened ones. Sacred separation, why you were hidden. Look back. How many times did you feel the urge to disappear, to detach, to retreat? You were not running from the world. You were being pulled inward. Beg, but whispers truths in the stillness of the soul. Chosen ones are often misinterpreted. Your calm is called detachment. Your intuition is labeled paranoia. Your discernment, arrogance. But deep inside, you knew. You were never wrong, just too early. Every delay was a delay for protection. Every betrayal was a redirection. Every silence was a spiritual classroom. In numerology, the number 4 represents foundation, spiritual stability, and inner wisdom. You may have noticed that your major life shifts often happened in cycles of 4 years, 4 months, 4 signs. It's because the universe has always been constructing a base within you before allowing you to rise. It's painful to be awakened in a sleeping world. You tried to fit in, you dulled your shine, you second-guessed your visions, but your soul refused to shrink. Because the M and the moon are not decorations, they are spiritual GPS markers. Confront darkness. You were born with a prophetic rhythm that disrupts what others call normal. But before you could lead others, you had to walk the valley alone. And that valley, that was the place where heaven met you in the dust. You cried, "Why me?" But the heavens answered with silence. Not because they ignored you, but because silence was the only language strong enough to hold what you were becoming. Let this sink in. You were born into a contract you didn't consciously sign, but your soul agreed to it before you entered this dimension. You didn't choose the M. You didn't draw the moon. But they chose you. And these marks have waited, for years, sometimes decades, to be activated. That activation doesn't come from status, from money, or from attention. It comes from awakening. And awakening often looks like breakdowns, loneliness, humiliation, confusion. But we're being realigned. If you felt something in your chest during this message, a stirring in your spirit, a chill down your spine, don't ignore it. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. This is your tribe. This is your tool. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, because this channel is not entertainment. It's an ongoing divine conversation, and this is just the beginning. Now I want to ask something personal. What type of content would help you right now on your journey? Leave a suggestion in the comments. Not just for us, but for someone else reading who might be needing the same guidance. This is how we grow as a conscious family. Before we dive deeper, I need to ask you something not as a speaker, but as a soul walking beside you. Have you ever felt like you were waiting for something, but couldn't name it? If this message is speaking to you, please consider subscribing. This isn't about numbers. It's about building a sanctuary for those who carry light. And if you're still watching, drop your content idea in the comments, not just for you, but for someone else who might need the exact same revelation. You see, the ones with sacred marks, those born with the letter N engraved in their hands, or the crescent moon gently hidden in their skin, weren't just set apart for the sake of mystery. You were preserved for impact. But here's the truth no one talks about. Your mission didn't begin when people applauded. It is not denial. When you were overlooked, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. When you were forgotten by people, you were remembered by heaven. There is a law in the spiritual realm that few know. What is hidden in purity will be revealed in power. The silence you endured was never empty. It was filled with preparation. The number 12 keeps showing up for many chosen ones. That's because 12 is the number of government, alignment, and divine structure. 12 gates, 12 months in a full celestial cycle. Every delay in your story was setting up something with governmental precision in your spirit. The people who left were never meant to carry your calling. The job that didn't work out wasn't your platform, it was a decoy. And your spirit knew this, even when your emotions couldn't make sense of it. They thought they were breaking you, but they were waking you. Isolation was their goal. Transformation was heaven's result. Some of the people who tried to block your rise weren't even aware of their role in your evolution. They spoke words cursed with subtle bitterness. They planted doubt with smiles. They told you to be realistic, not knowing your dreams came coded with blueprints from realms beyond logic. But you didn't retaliate. You didn't fight back with malice. You endured in silence, and that silence built an altar within you. Chosen one, those who tried to wound you didn't realize they were pressing why. Spiritual layer. Because light isn't born in ease, it's born in fire. The refinement of the hidden. Let's be honest, some days you questioned everything. You stared at your hands, those lines, that M, that faint lunar curve, and wondered if they meant anything at all. And then something small would happen. A number repeated. A stranger spoke a word you needed, or you heard a message like this and felt the goosebumps ripple through your body like a sacred current. That's how the divine speaks. It doesn't knock down doors. It brushes past you like wind, and if your spirit is open, you hear it. And here's what it's saying now. You are not behind. You are right on time. Every tear you've cried in secret became water for the roots of your authority. Every disappointment was shaping your discernment. You don't just walk into room without words. During your deepest isolation, heaven was whispering things into your spirit that no teacher could have explained. You were being shown how systems of energy work. You were learning how to trust what cannot be seen. You were tuning your frequency to truth, and in doing so, everything that wasn't true started to fall away. The world called it a breakdown, but spiritually, it was a breakthrough. There's a reason some people disappeared. They couldn't breathe the same air your spirit was evolving into. Some people were filters, not friends. They were lessons, not lifelines. And this time, your discernment won't let you invite them back. The anointing is in the alignment. People think anointing comes with applause, stages, or attention. But the real chosen know, the most powerful moments come in quiet rooms when no one is watching. You were shaped in those moments. Road when you encouraged others even as you bled silently. That is where your spiritual mantle was tailored. And now that mantle is glowing. Not with glitter, not with noise, but with frequency. Now tell me, have you felt any part of this script in your chest, in your belly, in your bones? Then this isn't just a video, it's a spiritual confirmation. If you've made it this far, it's not by chance. This is where destiny and awareness meet. This is where your story begins again, not from scratch, but from strength. So many people think healing is going back to who you were before the pain. But healing, for the chosen ones, is remembering who you really were all along, even when the world couldn't see it. That M on your palm is not random curvature. That crescent moon isn't just a trick of the light. They are imprints of a promise, placed on your body by divine intelligence. They are living reminders that your path isn't ordinary, because your origin, your reward are not of this world. You are walking through this life with the seal of something ancient, something sacred, and now the time of activation has fully arrived. The prophetic wealth of the marked. Here's what they don't teach in books. True wealth, the kind that shifts generations, is spiritual first, material second. When the divine looks upon the chosen, it doesn't just restore what was stolen. It transfers inheritance from the systems that tried to suppress you to the realms that now position you. You weren't meant to beg. You were born to build. The family you come from in the spirit, it is rich not in coin, but in keys. Keys to restoration, insight, authority, favor. This is why you felt drawn to wisdom beyond your years, why the average doesn't fulfill you, why fame never interested you, but freedom did. You are not chasing things. You are remembering them. The reward was hidden. People, moments, years, yes, but you never lost your code. It was embedded, preserved, shielded in silence. And here's where it gets divine. Every single injustice you endured became currency in the spirit, not to buy revenge, but to purchase restoration. The betrayal that broke your heart, it opened a gate. The lie that destroyed your reputation, it awakened the truth with even louder authority. They didn't know the system they used to trap you was the same one the divine would use to elevate you. You are the testimony. You were being watched not just by critics, but by heaven. Every moment you chose peace over retaliation. Every second you remained true to your light when it would have been easier to conform. Those moments became spiritual deposits. And now, the withdrawal has begun. That means the honor that was buried is being unearthed. The resources you were denied are now law of restorative elevation. And you're not just getting back what was taken. You're getting upgraded. You're not returning to your old self. You're returning to your divine version. And here's the sacred number in this season. 17, the number of victory after divine order. You are not a survivor. You are a system breaker. The world tried to label you. Too sensitive, too much, too strange. But you weren't made to be labeled. You were made to be liberated and to liberate others. This is why your presence now carries an atmosphere. It shifts things. It clears spaces. It breaks patterns. You may not see it, but others feel it. You are no longer just a person. You've become a portal, a walking testimony that divine justice is not an abstract concept. It's a living frequency. And those who once underestimated you, they'll try to explain your glow. But your glow isn't explainable. It's earned through fire. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Your demonstration. What is coming cannot be touched now. Let me leave you with this. There is an inheritance, with your name on it, that no hand can steal, no system can block, and no lie can erase. And it's not just about money, visibility, or power. It's about authority, the kind that walks into a room and shifts the climate. It's about peace, the kind that passes all understanding. It's about clarity, the kind that burns through manipulation. And most of all, it's about alignment, because now everything in your life is beginning to make sense. From here on, the doors you walk through will no longer require begging or explaining. They will open because you are the key. The name they tried to bury? Heaven is about to make it echo. The gifts they called madness? They will now be your ministry. The seasons you thought broke you? They built you. And now your life becomes the map for others to rise through the same fire. If this message stirred something deep, not an accident, that's a signal. You've been called, confirmed, and chosen. If you're still here, write the number 17 in the comments. It's the number of victory after divine alignment. Let it be a sign to the universe and to yourself that you're stepping fully into this season. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. But not because it helps a channel, because it connects you to a spiritual family that speaks your language, honors your story, and will grow beside you. This isn't about being another viewer. It's about being part of a movement. Comment what resonated with you the most. Share what you've learned. And if someone in the comments is hurting, be the light that meets them. Let's continue. You are not stepping into your future. You are stepping into your fulfillment. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about unveiling who you've always been, behind the veil of pain, confusion, and spiritual suppression. Yes, they tried to erase your presence. But what they didn't know is that chosen ones don't rise by applause. They rise by alignment. They thought removing support would cripple you, but they only removed the noise that was distracting your power. You weren't just protected, you were prepared. All those quiet moments, those nights when no one checked in, those days when even your prayers felt unanswered, they weren't void. They were downloads. While others were performing for approval, you were being equipped in silence. While they sought validation, you received revelation. Some inherit power, others become it. You became the answer to questions people haven't even learned to ask yet. And now, your presence is a presence. People may not know why, but when you're near, their thoughts shift, their heart softens, their fears surface. Why? Because those with the M and Crescent moon don't just walk into rooms. They charisma. You were infused with energy that recalibrates broken spaces. The generational impact of the chosen. This path was never just about you. It was always about those connected to you in spirit, waiting for your rise. Somewhere out there, there's a soul who will find their light because you didn't give up. They won't remember your name. They won't quote your words, but they'll walk in freedom because your vibration shattered invisible cages. The sacred marks you carry, the M and the Crescent, are not individual symbols. They're part of a collective frequency grid meant to awaken the sleeping, heal the broken, and dismantle energetic injustice. And you, beautiful soul, are part of that grid. Your gifts are now in bloom. It's time to stop hiding. The intuition you kept dismissing, it was never just a feeling. It was prophetic perception. The dreams you thought were random, they were divine intelligence, revealing patterns and plans. The way you're be. People? That's not anxiety. It's your inner radar picking up energetic interference. You're not sensitive. You're spiritually attuned. Your nervous system is built like a divine antenna, scanning reality, decoding symbols, absorbing truths. And now, it's time to stop seeing that as a weakness and gears are turning. Documents are shifting. Hearts are softening. Paths are clearing. Not because of manipulation, not because of hustle, but because of divine alignment. And while others rush for relevance, you are receiving something they cannot fake: spiritual credibility. You walked through loss without losing your compassion. You faced betrayal and still chose grace. You saw the worst in people and still kept your light on. That, chosen one, is power. That is heaven's definition of royalty. You are becoming what the world is starving for. In a world drowning in noise, you are becoming a sacred whisper, the quiet authority of someone who has wrestled angels in the dark and still rose with blessing in hand. You've been changed, and now you change everything you touch. You are the answer to someone else's cry. Somewhere right now, someone is on the verge of quitting. They're tired, confused, numb. But your story, yes, your story is about to be the bridge that keeps them going. That's why you're needed. That's why you were preserved. That's why you carry such weight in your walk. Because your existence is intercession. Your breakthrough is their blueprint. The marks on your hands, they carry instructions for the ones coming behind you. You are not just rising for yourself. You are rising for the lineage that will come after you, not by blood, but by spiritual inheritance. So many people are chasing success, but chosen ones don't chase. They magnetize. Why? Because when you've been through the shadows, when you've been refined by fire, when the world tried to erase you and God resurrected you, your frequency becomes unshakable. You're no longer begging for open doors. You become one. Your presence now carries cosmic authority, not because you asked for it, but because you endured for it. And authority like this cannot be given by men. It must be forged in silence, sharpened through suffering, and sealed by spirit. You didn't just survive what was sent to destroy you, you alchemized it. They sent betrayal, you turned it into discernment. They sent lies, you turned them into wisdom. They sent silence, you turned it into strength. That's the difference between the chosen and the common. The chosen don't just titles. You walk in truth. You don't need fame. You carry frequency. You don't need permission. You've been anointed in secret. And what the world will soon see is that the mark on your palm is not for decoration, it's for demonstration. A signal to the invisible realm that the prophecy has been activated, that the codes are online, that the carrier has awakened. And now, wherever you go, strongholds will tremble, not because of what you say, but because of what you carry. You are becoming the fulfilled prophecy. Do not minimize yourself in this hour. Do not dim the divine blueprint. Do not water down what heaven has set aflame. You are not just part of a move of God. You are the move. Your very existence is spiritual evidence that God's word never returns void. The M and the crescent moon are not the end of the story. They're the keys to your divine beginning. And what's coming next? It's not just compensation. It's not just restoration. It, who you've always been. Final activation. Say it with your spirit, chosen one. Say this not just with your mouth, but with your spirit. I am no longer who I was. I carry the frequency of fulfillment. I release every false identity. I embrace my divine role. The season of hiding is over. I walk in the power of who I've become. Now, breathe in deeply. Feel the resonance of that truth sink into your bones. You don't need to force this moment. You've already arrived. You're not waiting for alignment. You are aligned. Before you leave your footprint here. This isn't a comment section, it's a prophetic altar. Write what this video ignited in you, your clarity, your purpose, your light. And if you haven't subscribed, do it not for me, but for the mission. Because this isn't a trend, this is a spiritual transmission. There's someone like you out there waiting for this message. Let's help them find it. And never forget, you are the evidence.